Good morning, I'm Garry Robinson. I want to give you the best investment strategy for Inform Ratings, courtesy of www.horseracingasaustralia.info. Now, this will be a reasonably long video, and because it's all about how much money you can make and the best way to make it, I think it's well worth following through. And then at the end of it, I've just got a look at a race or two for Randwick this Saturday that you can have a look at. Okie dokie, let's have a look now. I'm using the system developer in the GTX program, and what I'd like you to see now, this is just looking back a couple of days ago, a strategy that I've set out here. I'm looking at the going has got to be good 3 or a good 4. The horse we're going to back is the favourite, and we're only going to back the horse if it's the win form top rated horse. So we're going to look at two ways of investing in these, and I've set it up over here on selected dates. 1st of January this year to the 31st of March. So that's a 3-month span, so it's going to give you plenty of idea of what it's going to look like, this investment strategy. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run it through based on the best of the 3 totes or the starting price. I have to tell you that I'll just click this in and start it running. And it's going to go through and give us a result pretty quick. What the investment strategy is a good one, as you can see there. We've made a profit over that particular period, and there are 39% winners and a $1,500 return. Okay, longest losing run there is 11, so it's not a bad strategy. And the profit there on the good track in particular is 9%. Became just a little bit even, but I mean that varies. It varies up and down accordingly. Now, one of the other things is that I have noticed that the price you get, starting price for a favourite, if you're able to have your strategy so that you invested the first time that horse wins, you're probably going to end up getting about an extra 5 or 10% profit on turnover over what's showing there. There's no top fluctuation, for example, in there, which is always quite a difference. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use proportional staking. In other words, to back these runners to make the same profit, no matter what the price of it is, or well, according to the price it is. So we run that through, and we'll come up with a different figure here. So the shorter the price, the more we invest on it, and that comes out here. You can see that even though we made a profit on this particular going at 5.9%, we lost 3.3% overall. And we lost 1.3%. So the first scenario is we're betting just level stakes, the same amount on each horse. The second scenario is we're putting enough money on it to make $100, okay? So I could change this, and I could make this to make more money. So that's the fixed amount of return, okay? So basically, that's for that particular scenario. Okay. Now, we could, if you like, just change this a bit. We'll go into win form here, and we'll take that off. And we can look at the race going to give us the other track going. So this is excluding good 3 and 4. And we're looking at favourites. We're going to run through for the same period. First of all, we'll use the proportional staking method again. And here it comes up, and it says the strike rate was 34%, which you must admit is pretty good for favourites. And the profit on turnover here was minus 6.4%. Now, if we use that instead on best tote, and bearing in mind you could get better than this, at the end of the day, the amount of money lost is 5.8%. So it's a smaller loss just going across those particular runners. Now, there's one group of selections I've got in our new book, which is winning at horse racing today. The only way to do it, we want to win. Let's have a look at our hot rated selections, which is a group of selections which Winform have rated highly. So you won't see anything showing up on this side of the page because it takes the whole group of our investment things and puts it all together. So what we're going to do now, we're going to run that through on level stakes. This is from the 1st of January to the 31st of March, and see what result we come up with. I'm expecting a strike rate of about 30%, which is average. It just depends On a normal basis, we get an average of $4 for our runners. In this particular instance, this is looking at all tracks, soft, heavy, and the like, and so on. As you can see, on the good 3 and good 4, making a nice profit of around 30%. But anyway, overall, it's a 2.2% profit. That's if you backed everyone. If you left out the soft tracks, obviously you're going to do better. If you use betting to make a set profit, this is going to be the result you get. Once again, it tips through pretty quick, which is good. So on this particular one, you can see overall here, you're losing 5%. So the conclusion is a simple one, isn't it? So let's just set this out, okay? Okay, level profit. In other words, you bet or betting to make a set amount per selection. Okay. So what we can see here, I can just click on this. Whoops, don't want to do that. I want to print the analysis. And what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to pick up those totals there. And pop them in here. So if you come back and refer to this, you'll be able to see what we're looking at. Okay, so -5, and I'll just put a percentage there so you know what we're talking about. Get rid of this, just to give us a bit more space and get it on one line. Okie doke. Now, we change that. Same selections. And level stakes. Mind you, we can even do better doing other variations. Okie doke. So let's just run that through again. It'll only take a second to do this. Here it is, it's coming up now. And the end result, we just take everything into account here. Print the analysis, put it up there. I will take this across and put the result in. 2.2%. Okay, so the interesting thing about this though, if we look at here and we can say average outlay equals so the figures we've got here on this particular selection are for $100 per bet. On this one, average $100 out equals minus 1594. Sorry. Now, same selections, level stakes at $100. 2.2% profit, a profit of 670. The difference is going to be that 1594 plus 670. The difference, spell that right, is a loss of 2264 if outlay is for a level profit rather than level stakes. So I hope that clarifies it for you. So just let's highlight that again. For that, you're looking at 2.2% profit over that period. And remember, that include heavy tracks and all the rest. And on this one, your loss here is 1594. So that's the comparison for you. It's quite a difference, isn't it? So when you look at various other scenarios, the reason I've looked at this particular scenario and started with the favourites is the horses that are shorter in the market should show you a better result than horses that are longer in the market. The reality is it doesn't matter what the price is in the market. Using those win form selections and betting them on even a best tote, and of course you can always bet best of the best. So best tote, level stakes is good, best of the best, which includes top fluctuation, is great. So add 5% to the profit. Okay, where do you get it? You can get it at vicbet.com. We better put that in lowercase, hadn't we? So in case you want to have a look. Okie doke. So that's the video today. Now let's have a look at Saturday's races. I'll just load those up. And we're only going to look at Randwick on Saturday. And I'll just start backwards and show you a couple that I think have got a good chance. So I'm looking at the last race. And here I've got Insensata. So it qualifies based on its first up run back in December with a 65.8. It's been running well since then. However, it's not that fancy on wet tracks, as you can see. If you look down here, it has a much better strike rate on good tracks than what it has on wet tracks. So it gets its chance here, and that'll be a good each way chance if you happen to get around $41, which I don't know that you will, but anyway. Let's going back to race 8 now, and in this particular race I fancy number 1 Trekking. Trekking usually goes well fresh, and there's a good chance in there. I can see that our rated price is $4.70. Expected price is going to be around $6 or so. In the second leg of the quaddie, I really like Santa Ana Lane and Piarata. Remember, I gave those out a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't perform. But obviously what they're going to get on Saturday is a nice firm track, and both horses will go very well. Previous horses before that, this is a really hard race. Life Less Ordinary, it's an 8-year-old now, and that's a bit of a problem, but it did rate a 75.6 with us back on the 19th of October, has had 4 runs from a spell, has sort of been thereabouts, one of 71.3 back on the 29th of February. Okay, and looking at the next one, House of Cartier, has been running on the wet tracks and not doing much good. And if you look down here, you can see that it hasn't gone that great on the wet tracks. But anyway, it's only just makes our margin of 3 wins out of 20, 15%, the minimum required for a Saturday performance. So it's going to be a bit of an outsider too. It's not really my best thing, but it's going to be a pretty hard race to win actually. So you're probably going to have to take the top 5 there, which is 1, 3, 4, 6 and 13, all going to be chances. Okay, that's it for today. Just remember, level stakes is the way to go rather than set profit. Good luck and thanks for watching.